Titans, Bitcoin is getting a nice little recovery today, but is the correction actually over? And what should we expect from today's FOMC meeting? And finally, let's check out our altcoin pick of the day. Kevork, hit that intro. Let's kick it off with the FOMC meeting and what we should expect to hear. The meeting today starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Jerome Powell will be providing key updates on inflation and rate cuts. Now, given that the market consensus suggests that there's a 99% chance that we won't have a rate cut this month, we should not expect one going into this meeting. However, I think what the market really wants to hear is whether we can still expect rate cuts later this year around the summer, and if multiple rate cuts are still on the table. If Powell's remarks are dovish today, the market should respond favorably. But if his remarks are perceived as being hawkish, we should expect to see a drop in the market today. But more often than not, we've been getting a quick recovery on the following day after the market has had some time to sleep on it. Now let's take a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Yesterday, we were at 79, which represents extreme greed, but now we're at 74, which is down a notch to just plain greed. So this makes sense given that Bitcoin has been slowly trending downwards over the last couple of days. Now let's move on to your daily reminder that the Bitcoin halving is in just 25 days. Also note that the halving date is now currently estimated to be April 15th. But again, it's a moving date based on whenever the 210,000 blocks have been added to the Bitcoin blockchain. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Looking at the 24-hour window, we're seeing some strong liquidity building up somewhat evenly both above and below the current price action. I have this feeling that with the FOMC meeting today and the volatility that typically comes with that, we may potentially see both the bulls and the bears getting flushed out here. Now let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow table. Yesterday, March 19th, we had an outflow of $326.2 million, which marks our second consecutive day of negative money flow for the ETFs and the third overall occurrence for this month. And we saw the lightest flow we've had all month going into the BlackRock ETF with only $75.2 million. As long as the institutions are still buying, then I'm not overly concerned about a trend reversal at this time. Guys, this is your reminder that we are only 64 days away from a decision to be made by the SEC for the first Ethereum spot ETF by May 23rd. Don't sleep on Ethereum because you know what happened to Bitcoin leading up to the approval of the spot ETFs back in January. All right, now let's hit the charts. All right, we're looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, and as you can see here, we're forming this descending channel pattern with lower highs in yellow and lower lows in blue. So despite the recovery that we're seeing today, we're still range bound in this pattern and need to begin forming higher highs and higher lows before we can say that we're looking bullish again. Looking at the daily time frame now, Bitcoin had a daily candle close yesterday below the 62.5K to 63.8K support zone, but made a quick recovery afterwards, and now we're attempting to push through the 63.8K side of this zone. Now, given that we have the FOMC meeting today, we may see some additional volatility. And as we've been saying all along, don't be too surprised if we tap the 59K wick here, because that would represent about a 20% correction, which would be consistent with all the other corrections in this cycle. Also keep in mind that the stochastic RSI is still very low, so that means that a strong recovery should be coming soon. Now for our altcoin pick of the day. I'm not suggesting you ape into anything here, but ApeCoin, think metaverse and gaming, is back in a strong support zone on the weekly time frame. If we see a full trend reversal anytime soon for the altcoins, then I would expect Ape to easily hit $3.33 as an initial take profit target, which represents about an 80% gain from where we're at now. Titans, we are your one-stop source for guiding you through this Bitcoin bull run. Please join us as we continue to provide the latest market and technical analysis that are going to give you that edge.